Verse 7, a spiritual gift is given to each of us so we can help each other. The reason why I want to emphasize on this is because most of us have a pretty bad taste in our mouth about spiritual gifts. And we hear about prophets who go around and they run whole churches prophesying. We know about people who have healing ministries and have entire platforms based on healing. And we know people, and listen, I'm not even shaming that, but you've had some bad experiences and you've watched people speak in tongues and you're watching them and it looks like they're speaking in tongues for what reason? For themselves, which, hey, there's a place for that, but you feel uncomfortable in the room watching them speak in tongues. And so what happens? You get a bad taste in your mouth and you're thinking, not speaking in tongues. They're just saying the same gibberish over and over again. And that guy's not really prophesying. He has probably a radio in his ear and someone's probably telling these people's problems, because I saw that, 2020 episode. And all of a sudden we have this bad taste in our mouth about the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And a bunch of us, I'm going to tell you why you have that bad taste, because you keep seeing the gifts of the Holy Spirit being used for one's own self-validation. You see the gifts of the Spirit being used for self-appointed authority. I'm a prophet, so you must listen to me. I'm a healer, so you must do what as I call you to do. And what happens? The spiritual gifts now looks like voodoo and magic that lifts up men and doesn't glorify God. And that's a big deal. And then there's another group of people in here who are raised like me, where it's like, no, the gifts of tongues. And I'm going to tell you right now, you should seek the gift of tongues. But you've been weirded out by that, right? And you've been praying for the gift of tongues and you never received it. And because you never received, how many of you guys have ever prayed for the spiritual gifts? Anyone in here ever prayed for the spiritual gifts? Man, you guys prayed for the spiritual gifts. And this is what happened. I know this happened to me. I kept praying for the spiritual gifts over and over and over. And I was taught this, that if you don't speak in tongues, then you don't have the Spirit of God over you. And so what happened? I got freaked out. Wait a minute, I don't have the Spirit of God because I don't speak in tongues? So now I'm praying for the Spirit of the Lord to give me a gift of the Spirit, that I might speak in different languages so that I would be validated, so that I could walk around and go, yeah, hey, look at me. I do have my badge. Look at me. I do have the Holy Spirit. That's why I was seeking for the gift of God. And then I remember when I was younger, especially saying, God, I want to see, it would be way cooler if you give me the gift of healing so people could be healed through me. Because how sick would that be, Because what would I do with it? I know what I would do with it. Man, I would make a ministry. I'd probably start a YouTube channel. Like, hey, look at this paralytic guy. Boom, look at that. And all of a sudden I'd be like, look at what's happening. I was praying for the gifts of the Spirit of God amiss. And if I had changed my mind and I said, God, give me your Spirit and the gifts of your Spirit so that I could bless my brothers and sisters. If I focused here, I would have been asking on points. Father, this is what I want. I know that your gifts are not for my validation. Your gifts are so that I might serve the church. Now listen, that sounds good, but that's crazy to pray that God would work through you supernaturally because you love your brothers and sisters so much. And I'm going to be real with you. Most of us aren't praying for the gifts of the Holy Spirit for that reason. You know how I know that? Because none of your other prayers reflect that either. That you love your brothers and sisters so much. You say, Father, use me as a vessel, not so I could do great works, that I might meet the needs of my brothers and sisters around me. Some of you guys, if you started praying like that, you would start noticing that the gifts of the Holy Spirit are already upon you and that he wants to use you today.